Hey guys, here we are on Red Sox Talk Radio today. I'm Will, and the question on everyone's mind is how can the Red Sox pitching staff improve in the futures? Because as we know, in order to build a team, pitchers are a little bit more important than hitters. Because before we can have runs coming into the plate through fantastic batting, we need pitching to restrict them from coming in first. Guys, I'm looking for your opinion on this one.
Well, being totally honest, this pitching staff is awful. The pitching in general is awful. I could probably pitch better than them, and I haven't touched a baseball since fifth grade. So I genuinely don't know at this point. I really don't.
Tanner, what about you?
Well, as we know, in baseball, pitching is obviously one of the most uh, key positions that a team needs to be strong with, and the Red Sox do not have that right now. That's why they've been slumping. That's why they have went from 11 games over 500 back to a game over 500, and that was a big reason why they lost 28-5 to the Toronto Blue Jays last week. They were not ready coming out of the All-Star break. Their pitching was terrible. I mean, it's never good when you give up 28 runs in a game. That's embarrassing. The pitching needs to improve. The pitching staff needs to improve. That's somewhere the Red Sox really need to work on, or else the season is basically done with.
All right. So just like Tanner said, as the Red Sox were 11 games over 500. Historically, the Red Sox pitching staff has been one of the worst over the past 10 years, and as much as I want to see it improve, unless we acquire some new pitchers and Heim Bloom makes some better decisions in the front office, I just can't see us scratching out a season better than 500. As much as I want to see them accomplish the goal. What about you, Charles?
I mean, look, we gave up 28 runs to the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays.
That's a perfect indictment of terrible pitching. Right?
Exactly.
Yep.
Like, it's the Blue Jays. I'm not hating on the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays are okay, but like, it's the Blue Jays. We shouldn't be giving up 28 to them.
Oh, and also the 28-5 loss to the Blue Jays was the worst loss in Red Sox history, and historically the most runs given up by their team ever since the year 1910. So you can now look at that stat as just another example of how awful the Red Sox pitching has been lately.
For for a team like the Blue Jays, who have had the Red Sox number all season, uh, it was kind of a disappointment that they didn't show up with the intensity and the energy that they should have out of the All-Star break against this team, and that's what ended up happening. Obviously, uh, the big embarrassment in that series was um, the 28-5 smoking of the Red Sox, but they also got swept.
All right, so now we're going to take a call from Sean in Worcester, Massachusetts.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very fine. Thank you.
All right, good. I couldn't agree with you more on the Boston situation. The game against Toronto was an absolute embarrassment. And I think the reason why it hasn't been fixed yet is because they've been able to get away with it. I mean, 2018, that was a World Series. And you said, worst pitching staff past 10 years. That was, what, 5? So with that bad pitching staff, we still got a trophy. So I don't really think that it's been on the head of the GM's minds as it should be. Another thing, though,
You just said another thing though. Are you going to continue the sentence?
no.
Okay, thank you, Sean.
Okay, thank you, Sean. Now, will we be taking any more calls today, or will this be the close of our talk show? What are your guys' final opinions on the Red Sox pitching staff?
Well, I think he summed it up pretty good in terms of, the pitching staff hasn't been good in the last, or it was good enough to get us to the World Series, but we got to the World Series because of who was on our team hitting.
Hitting JD Martinez.
JD Martinez.
Mookie Betts was still on our team. He hadn't gone to the Dodgers. Exactly.
Bogarts, all them. Those were the people that brought us there.
This team has a lot of potential, and injuries are a part of that right now. Obviously, you got JD Martinez, Kike Hernandez that are injured right now, as well as the pitching not playing up to expectations. So once this team has a lot of potential, and I think we've all seen that potential. But just like unfortunate circumstances right now, they got to get it together.
Injuries are key in baseball, and they really have been causing the Red Sox immediate deterioration from second place in the AL East to fourth place. But just to go back where you were talking about the World Series in 2018, the playoffs was the only time when the Red Sox bullpen performed consistently well game after game. During the regular season, it was their hitting that was vaulting them into first place in the AL East with the 108-54 record, and that's what was earning them all of their wins.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you, to be honest. Like, that's legitimately just how we got there was our hitting. Our pitching was, our bullpen was consistent at that time, but right now it's just not.
I completely agree, so I think that's all for our talk show today. Thank you very much.